This is the part of the episode where I do an intro that's supposed to be like a prayer of some kind, a unique prayer or whatever, but we're gonna skip that and it's related to the episode somehow. But I'm Tim and
Hi,
this is
Tim.
Flipperflex.
How are you, Tim? I'm Adam.
Hello, Adam.
I'm Sam.
We've never met before.
Are we gonna?
No, not one.
Are we gonna start calling ourselves Flip Turns?
Dude, yeah, I was thinking Flip Turns is a really good name for us. Thank you, AI, for telling us that. Tim, if you did not catch that in one of our episodes, I used ChatGPT to write us a synopsis, and it was like in the Flipperflix people, also known as Flip Turns, and I was like,
Flip turns.
The fuck? Have we ever called ourselves that? Like,
I don't
what
know
the
what that
hell?
means.
I
No,
I
and
do
know.
not
also-
know what that means.
I also didn't like give it instructions to call us by our names, Adam, Sam, and Tim. So it was like Sarah and Emily, and I'm like, who the fuck is Sarah and Emily? Assholes.
Yeah.
Oh man. I wonder if Sarah and Emily have seen this movie.
There could be a Sarah and an Emily out there that have probably seen it.
Probably.
Doubts.
Yeah, so in Sam's expectation. Oh, wait, Tim, did you want to say what movie we saw?
Oh yeah, we probably.
I
should.
wasn't sure when to do that. I never know. So I do the whole thing. You want the whole thing? All of it?
Yeah, do the whole
The whole
thing.
Do the whole thing.
All right. So the category was back at it again,
Dun, dun, dun.
which is pick a movie that you originally did not enjoy to see if you would like it again. I don't think you would ever do it in the reverse.
But you could.
I mean,
I
Well,
love this movie. I want to see if I'll hate it.
there
Watch
is a
Batman
chance.
100 times.
There could be a chance that would happen,
That's
though,
true,
like with
actually.
kids'
That's
movies.
true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
We're
actually true.
Back is an awful film.
But it's so great as
Yeah.
It was
children.
so good as a kid. We watched it and I was like, this movie I do not like.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue, Tim.
So I mentioned this movie several times on the podcast. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it with other people. Boondock Saints
Mhm.
from 1999. If you're not aware, cult classic, hour and 48 minutes, 50, whatever. Everyone I knew this movie and hyped it up to just the stratosphere. It was always hyped up as like one of the best movies ever made. And I was like, okay. And I never watched it because I was that kind of person, right?
Avi.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know, the synopsis for this movie is two Irish Catholic brothers become vigilantes and wipe out Boston's criminal underworld in the name of God. So, yeah, my reason for back at it again. I didn't watch this film until, I don't know, 2010, 2012, somewhere in between there.
That makes
Yeah.
When I was in
sense.
college.
Yeah.
Everybody just hyped it up, and then one day I sat down and watched it with some housemates, and I was unimpressed. I don't know. It
Just wasn't for you.
Nothing. Action movies are usually my thing. I like action movies, especially with an interesting plot. I mean, not that this one's super original or anything, but it's got its own little edge to it, and then nothing was there. It just didn't. I was pretty bored.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What's really funny
we
is, Tim,
are.
I'm pretty sure I brought it over to your house one year to watch. And you're like, I don't really like this movie.
There
Yeah,
you
I had
go.
seen it a total of one time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I enjoyed it. I loved it. So if somebody
Yeah,
hyped
I
it,
know you did. Yeah.
I probably hyped it
Everyone
up for
I
you.
knew hyped it.
Yeah.
Everyone I knew hyped it.
And one Christmas, I got Sam it for Christmas. And then somebody
Yeah.
also got it for me for Christmas. So Sam and I own 2 copies of this movie.
That's hilarious.
That just
I have
shows how
zero.
hyped it was, man. Like,
Not only
Yeah, true.
there are only 2 movies that we own a duplicate of. That one and Harry Potter Harry Potter Book 7 Part 1.
nice.
Because we
Okay.
hadn't combined our
Very good.
collections yet.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
shockingly, there's only 2 things that we overlap on. One being
Fair.
the Boondock Saints.
I'm surprised that this came out when it did, but that makes a lot more sense to, I guess, like my experience
Yeah.
of like, well, I went to a Catholic high school, so I feel like that's also partially why people were like, you gotta see this movie.
Because they go to a Catholic church.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
It was like,
Yeah.
it's cool to be Catholic.
Except they went to a Lutheran church because the Catholics didn't like this movie.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
the point was, like, I feel like you're being like an edgy high schooler if you saw this. And so I thought
I
that
can
it,
see that.
I
can
thought
see
that it came out like when
2005.
yeah, like around that
Yeah,
time,
a
but
little
it's
bit, yeah.
older. And so I think that also makes sense to what I had said earlier of like the only way you see it is like somebody like gives you the DVD and it's like, here, you gotta see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Which now it's on streaming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched.
Well,
no,
that's how we
we,
watched
We watched
it.
our DVD.
I
We
was
watched
Oh,
our
you watched
DVD.
it, okay.
One of our two
I was like,
copies.
I watched it streaming, so
I was almost like, is it? Because obviously we didn't.
yeah, I don't have
Oh
it.
my
so-
God, yeah.
We could have mailed Tim a copy.
Tim's next year, Tim's
I want
Christmas
some
gift,
too.
maybe. We'll see. Like, I see what
We'll
he
send him
thinks
like
of it on
10
the
copies
second
of it
try.
though.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh shit.
yeah. So I found out about this movie from my roommates in college as well, and Sam. Well, they told me about it, and then I talked to Sam about it, and she's like, dude, yeah, it's amazing. And
No.
then part 2 comes out. We cram 7 people in.
There's a
Car-
part 2?
There's a second movie.
Didn't come out when you guys were in college. So.
Yeah, so around 2010.
Maybe I heard that and it was like trash or something.
It is. It's not as like to me who loves this one. It's not as
Yeah.
good. It's still got like
Mm.
kind of the heart of it in it,
The
but
same people?
same people.
I don't think I ever saw the second one, even though we
You
own
literally own it, and you have watched it, but you've only watched it one time.
it. See, so there you
I
go.
love how he
We
knows
watched
that.
it one time.
Because I remember I've seen it a couple times, but I know I made her watch it.
So there you go.
Anyway, so I went to the theater up like at our school, and we had crammed 7. I want to say 7 people in a car that should fit 4. It was like it was a Dodge Neon. Fucking remember
There you
that.
go.
We fit at least 7 people in there, and because it was snowy out. It was cold as shit, and we're not walking uptown.
Yeah.
So
Screw that.
we're like, make like a tree and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, I will say I was a little bit worried to watch it again too, because Tim, obviously you didn't like it, right? And then
Right.
also, like, even though we own it, the last time I probably watched it was still like, I don't know, maybe when I was in college, but it was probably still like a long time ago. Like I
Yeah.
haven't seen this movie recently.
We don't rewatch this one
Yeah.
often.
Yeah. But one of Adam's favorite lines is like the rope line, where he's like,
Oh.
they're
That's
trying
why
to,
you always
like-
bring your fucking rope.
Yeah,
That's why you bring a rope.
So I still have that plastered in my brain. Like I was waiting for the rope scene to happen.
I thought the rope scene was hilarious.
When they get the rope, I couldn't understand that he was saying rope. I didn't know what he was saying
Oh
until
no!
he grabbed the rope. I was like, oh, all right. I guess you always need rope. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I had no idea what he was saying.
You always need rope. Rope is
Yeah. They turned
required.
up needing rope. You know?
Mhm.
And I'll have you say where it's cut and how low it is with where it's cut, they would have been against the ground, not floating.
Oh,
around
yeah,
in
no.
circles.
That whole scene is hilarious because like they fall in like. First off, what is it connected to?
Yeah, exactly. What is sustaining it? Like,
Yeah, I know.
Like, they
Like
just get tangled up and fall, but somehow it's like
it's still holding them
it
up.
was never. Yeah.
That
But I
part of
love the
it
fellow.
makes.
He was like, "Oh, well, whatever." It says good aim comes in with good aim and takes out all these people at once, and then
Yeah,
it's just them floating around. Which my hot take on that is Defoe's wrong, but
it's DeFlo in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Defoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. I love this character actually. To be honest,
He's
with you.
hilarious.
I think from my original watch of it, he was the redeeming quality from the movie, and in this one, he just is fucking great.
I don't understand how. So I wouldn't say like necessarily like Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus at that time were like knocking it out of the ballpark, but Willem Dafoe in every scene.
Yeah, gone. He's
Consistently.
the one.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
He's so fantastic. Uh,
Yeah, and I like the way that this movie is structured, where it's like Defoe will be like, "Here's what happened," and
Yeah.
then it kind of like flashes back.
Mhm.
Like
yeah, if I that. Yeah,
I think
and
that's
like
mean,
it
I-
shows him like in the scene, like doing the fake
Yeah.
little guns.
So another thing like that I liked from the original was how it was filmed, how they did that kind of stuff. They did that. I mean, it's the cinematography, right? They, in general, it had a lot of cool angles, and then how they would go back with his like description, and then they would do it. And he'd be
Yeah.
kind of like wrong, but also correct. But some of his analysis is just like
Oh yeah.
you
Eye
wouldn't.
roll.
There's like what?
It's just to fill the
It
plot.
doesn't make sense.
It's
Yeah,
just to
it
fill
makes
it,
no
like
sense why he would fake that or anything. But yeah,
dude, what do you think of Rocco? Like I swear he's like look is he trying to do a Serpico thing?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't
Rocco,
know.
he had some classic
Poor Rocco.
lines.
Rocco was great. Yeah,
Catch you on the flip side.
his character was fucked.
Is it dead?
Oh my god.
The cat scene.
I forgot. I was gonna
It's that
say,
poor cat.
like right when we were sitting down to watch this movie, it's like the cat scene and the rope scene. We're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what I remembered.
Just fucking slams down. Cat explodes.
And there's like a little meow.
Yeah.
Rough. Is
Yeah.
it dead?
Is
Gee, I don't know. I'd say it's pretty dead.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore, so I'm pretty sure it's gone.
Rocco at one point, he like hides when it's at the sin bin. They like he holds up the two guns to shoot the two guys jerking off.
Oh yeah.
He's like Wyatt fucking Earp, and then
Yeah.
he shoots him. And for some weird reason, he just keeps coming up in our podcast.
Wyatt Ear.
Yeah,
Wyatt Earp.
yeah, I'm pretty sure Wyatt Earp didn't shoot like that either. But you know, still
Probably
kind of
not.
cowboy.
Now,
Uh,
Sam was saying that she's like, I think this is the first independent film I've seen. It was produced by Miramax.
I
I
that
don't know what that
doesn't
is.
help.
Oh, Miramax is Harvey Weinstein's company.
Oh, okay.
So there's a whole bunch of shit that happened in this background. Shockingly, Weinstein's not a good guy. Who would have known?
Who knew?
Now, Troy Duffy, the
One third.
director, is also not the greatest. He
Ooh.
believes himself as holier than thou. He was a
Mm.
bartender, pitched this screenplay to Weinstein at a bar that he was working at, and
Mm.
got picked up as the writer, the director, and even his band is somehow involved. Like Troy
He's
Duffy's
like,
band.
I'm just gonna ride this thing out to be all about
yeah,
me.
like he
So
clearly peaked. Huh?
yeah.
yeah, like there was a whole thing, like a rags to riches, like thing on him, like he was on the cover of USA Today.
Wow.
He meets, so Ewan McGregor was supposed to originally, I'm assuming, play Connor, the guy who Sean Patrick Flannery plays.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I actually thought that was Ewan, but
So he goes to meet him in New York to offer him it. They go to a bar. Duffy gets obliterated and just starts yelling and arguing with Ewan. And he's like, I'm out. And then when
Huh.
they lost him, like Ewan, Miramax cut the budget in half.
Ooh.
wow.
Then they didn't receive any royalties from this movie. So the only money they were going to get was from the theater. Like 5 days before this movie was set to release in theaters, Columbine happened.
Ooh.
So a movie about shooting was delayed.
Right.
'Cause of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happened was they reduced how many theaters it was going to be in. So that's why nobody ever saw it in theaters.
There you go.
It basically got yanked from theaters, and then people found it on DVDs and loved it. But the whole cast and production didn't get a penny until like 2009, 2010, where they sued the production
Wow.
company.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What a wild ride.
There's a whole
Wow.
documentary on it too, called Overnight.
Huh.
Yeah. Again, like it's just wild. Like the director fucked it, and then he got fucked by it.
You get
Yeah.
what you get, man.
Yeah. Speaking of fuck, it was said about 246 times in this
I was
film.
gonna say a lot.
Nice. And I like the one line where he's like, well, that definitely shows the diversity of the word or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, excuse me, a little water in the windpipe. Yeah, he's like talking to so he just says it like multiple times, right? But he has different meaning with each thing, and you understand what he's saying. Like,
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
This movie had some weird music in it. Like some of it was fine.
Very weird.
I don't mind the Gregorian chants.
I think it
Yeah,
fits.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like they're supposed to feel like they're being told by God to murder
Right.
people.
Right.
But At one point, they do like some techno-y music, and I'm like, what is
Which
happening?
is weird. Like, why
Yeah,
is this
very
happening?
strange. Yeah.
Oh man.
And at some point, the bad guys just look like they like found some like characters on like a video game from the PlayStation 2, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna model it
Yeah.
just like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like they were just charactery, as Tim would say.
There you go.
There you go. Perfect.
So how are you feeling otherwise, Tim? Like comparatively, like compare and contrast your viewings of this film years ago.
It started out rough. Like the beginning with like the rule of thumb thing and that chick getting offended about the rule of thumb for no fucking reason. Like, whatever, get over it. Like, oh, I hated that. But then I was enjoying the filming, and then Defoe's character started shining very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it built up really well this time. And I'd say I didn't really get distracted from or anything. I actually
That's good.
I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it more than I did the original time. Like, obviously, I didn't enjoy it really the first time, but this time I'd say I actually enjoyed the movie.
Nice.
Nice.
I will say, I hate that this happens in every fucking movie.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Beefcake.
Stun guns, tasers, whatever, do not incapacitate people.
It just hurts them. It like
For
stuns
the
you.
length of time that they're being used on you, that's how long it hurts.
Unless you're Alan from The Hangover, who gets shot in the forehead and stays up.
Well, there's barbs and shit, but
I know. No.
mean,
I was just making a
taser.
joke because that's a situation where they don't actually get knocked out in the movie.
right.
They're like,
yeah.
oh, they're writhing in pain, but
Well, we won't get into it, but there's a certain way that you can get full body lock on somebody with a taser. The stun gun's not going to do that. It's just going to fucking hurt.
yeah.
Stun guns don't have the length. You need the separation and big muscle groups to be connected in circuit with a taser in order to get a full body lock up on somebody. And even then, you can fight it. And then even then, afterwards, it stops, and it's basically like your whole body cramps. And I've been tased, whatever.
We won't get into
I
it.
elected to be tased, but anyway, yeah.
Like
It
the
just
Hangover.
it annoys the shit out of me in every fucking movie that somebody's just like, oh, and then they're out for like 10 minutes, and you're like, okay.
So the moral of the story is that Tim has been to Vegas and he elected himself to be tased.
To get out of, because he stole a cop
He
car.
stole a cop car, yeah.
Yeah, stole a cop car, pretended to be a cop driving down the street. He may have
Yeah.
also at one point put a tiger in the back.
Oh yeah.
Tiger, yeah. Specifically a boxer's tiger, but we won't get into
We won't say his name,
Yeah.
but like,
The Hangover is just based on Tim's life.
yeah,
Right,
like
exactly. Yeah.
there's like a type of chicken that you could get, and he has a first name before that,
Yep.
and it's not Purdue chicken. It's the other chicken.
I'm glad we're clearing that up.
Just to be clear.
There's a lot of chicken
Yeah.
out there these days.
And
so-
Tim
I
likes
think
his
people
ear on
caught
the
on
side.
Long ago, we're just carrying on.
Tim likes his ear on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, the other thing about back to this movie, which is not The Hangover.
Classic.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I enjoyed is there's a scene. I think it's when the old dude comes in.
Il Duce?
Yeah, and then Defoe is like
yeah.
trying to recreate that scene in his mind, but then he just like freaks out in the bushes, and I don't know why. I just really enjoyed that scene.
It's because he's like falling apart because he's like not able to figure it out, and then
Yeah.
He finds the
he's
finger.
realizing they used
Ammonia.
Yes.
ammonia on the blood, so it's not useful. So he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he gets like really pissed. It's great.
They're evading him over and over, and he's not used to that. So
I know.
by now he would have solved it, right? So
Indeed.
Well, he did solve it, and then he just never put it together that it was still them.
right, yeah. And then he ends up helping him, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Because Rocco,
All of the cops end up helping him.
I know. Rocco like takes the priest hostage, and then Connor takes Rocco hostage at the
Right.
same time. Like, don't fuck with their religion, man.
I guess
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
So Il Duce, this guy, it's
This
played by Billy Connolly. He is a comedian, and he said he apparently was so excited to play this character because he never gets to play like a heavy. Like he's never like a guy that shoots guns. He just plays comedic roles.
Yeah.
So the scene where he had the 6 guns on him, they couldn't make it through the scene because he had this giant ass smile on his face. So they couldn't use any of that take. So you'll see him with a big ass cigar because that's how they covered his smile.
That's
Right.
hilarious. Like, sorry, bro, we're gonna have to shove this in your face.
That kind of brings it down a little bit for me. Just because it's like, I get he was excited about it, but I thought his character was just kind of like cringy. But I don't know.
I can see that.
Yeah, I feel like it was only just to make
Nothing
Greenlee
against
be
him,
right. It was to make Greenlee be correct on one thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Billy Connolly though, he's hilarious.
And now he's 16.
He's in Brave. He's the dad.
I feel like he's in other stuff too.
Yeah. If you need that thick Irish accent, you get Billy Connolly. Which he's old as shit in this movie. And that was fucking 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brave, he's old as shit. I feel like
Well, that's animated.
Like,
older now.
yeah, like I saw, obviously he's in Brave, but then I feel like he's been in something since then, and so like he's even older. It's just wild how much people age. We're always so confused when people are getting older on this
That's true.
podcast.
It's wild.
That's true.
Like, how dare they?
How the hell is Jared Leto? Oh my gosh. Anyway.
He was 56 in this movie, by the way. Billy Connolly was 56.
Oh.
He's 80 now.
That's not even that old.
I know.
But he looked old as
But
shit.
He
still.
looked way older.
Well, he's just got gray hair.
That ages you.
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah, no, he looks more or less the same.
He's just got,
That doesn't
his
shock
hair
me
is
at
like
all.
grayer.
It's even grayer,
Yeah,
man.
it's just more gray.
Yeah.
More
Hey, he lost a
silvery.
lot of the pepper. It's all salt now.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, how did you guys like how they took our advice on this podcast? We always tell people to loot the bodies.
Loot the corpse.
Yeah.
They looted the bodies.
They did a great job doing that.
I've never understood why they don't do that in movies. Like, I mean, like if you're in a rush, sure. But like if you're not in a rush, like they might have shit on them that you could use.
A point we have made for
Just
3
depends.
years.
I know.
But I always got to keep bringing it up, especially if they
Yeah.
take our advice.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Brilliant.
It's important.
They went
Yeah.
back in time and took our advice.
Duh. We were on the set. We didn't get paid.
Yeah.
We were like, loot the bodies.
Yeah. Where's our bit from 2000?
Yeah, we were like 8.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like,
Well, I was eight.
gotta
I was
loot the
8.
bodies.
Yeah.
Sam was a
6-year-old Sam was like,
6-year-old
you gotta
Sam.
loot the bodies.
My God.
kindergartner / first grade Sam.
Anywho.
All right. So the critics gave this a 27%.
Wow.
Now,
So did Tim.
so there's this like running theory that critics can get paid off by studios.
Well,
Yeah.
Part of me feels like this movie was
One of those cases?
because like Weinstein was pissed at Troy Duffy.
Mm.
Because the other ratings do not match that. The critics, the audience gave it a 91%. IMDb has a 7.7 out of 10.
Yeah, but that's like the definition of a cult classic, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
or are
Yeah.
you making a conspiracy theory that all cult classics, the critics and audiences were originally paid off, and that is why cult classics exist?
No, I don't think that because like Fight Club is a cult classic. It did not do well in the box office, but
and
it
that's
was
a great film.
like rated very well. Same year,
But were the critics paid off?
79%.
Okay, never mind.
But-
Busting that theory out.
Yeah. So
Well,
Google
if it
Google
paid
gave
off,
the
give better.
yeah
Ooh.
Google gave this an 89% though.
Google, you can't trust them. Although I will say, we have found some, I think it's the older films, where like Google actually has a decent
Yeah,
like spread.
Well, because like I feel like if a younger person goes and see an older movie, not all people like our age enjoy like films from the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying
Right.
that we necessarily do. I'm just saying I feel like there's a bias due to age.
Right.
I was also wondering if it's a sheer numbers game at a certain point too. Like, are
Yeah.
people really going back and Googling?
12
Um,
Angry Men.
Okay, see, that's Like,
That is a good one though.
you got to find an obscure one, like Throw Mama from the Train.
I was gonna say the Blob.
Or, well, I don't know.
The Blob was obscure.
They have a whole Blob festival. Anyway, the point being,
That
at a
is
certain
true.
point, like, it could be a numbers game too. Like, just people aren't rating it because they haven't fucking seen it.
All right, so Tim, are you on the rewatch flipping it on?
Yeah, so I was pleasantly shocked by this, to be honest with you. I was like, this is a perfect candidate for this. Like,
It really is.
it really, for me, it was. I mean, it just, first time, like I said it multiple times, I just didn't get it, didn't like it. You know, I'm not a very religious person, so that could have been part of it. But I don't think it was, because I enjoyed it this time around. Like, I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's on top tier for me, but it was pretty good. It's definitely not Fight Club level for me, but it's pretty good. That being said, my algorithm,
Yes.
I felt like I was generous with it, but at the same time, I don't feel like I could change the scores.
That's fair.
So it got a 1 on everything. No, I'm just kidding.
That was my
It went up to a
generosity.
2 on everything. It was a 1 last time. It literally
Yeah.
doubled its score.
So while the music was like off at times, I actually think it worked for the most part. So I went ahead and said the music was good. Cinematography I enjoyed. That was probably my favorite part about it, was how,
How it
it
was
involved
shot,
Graham
yeah.
Bato's, whole thing, all that stuff. But as far as the dialogue, acting, vibe, pacing, I gave all those a 4. And then the plot, I gave it as 3, because it wasn't really anything original. It just had its own spin on, so, it was a vigilante sort of movie, action movie. There's a
Yeah.
reason to have an action-esque movie, but really there wasn't much action besides them just murdering people. So,
What?
staying in a hotel when I stopped, yes. So it told me breath of fresh air, meaning it's a flip on, and I would flip this on. Whereas originally, before seeing it this time, I would have said no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mine's a flip on too. I like the Gregorian chants of it. Like, it
Yeah,
was like but then again, like when I watch Death Note, I'm like, that's part of my favorite part of that anime is the
Right.
Gregorian chants. So it's kind of like, well, this lines up, right? I still enjoy it. Going back now, I'm more critical on it, but I've seen way more movies since I saw it the first time. But it's still funny to me. Just Rocco's bullshit. I don't know. The rope scene.
Mhm.
Even though it makes 0 sense, I still love the rope
right.
scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sam, what are you doing?
Well, I played around with my algorithm because I do enjoy the Gregorian chants part of it, yes, but the techno is so fucking distracting.
It like evens out.
And so then on the flip side of that, like the cinematography, I was like, sometimes it's really good. Sometimes I'm like, And so I was like solidly on the fence, because at one point it said, what did it say? Almost made it. And then if I like flipped some things around, it would be like, oh yeah, flip it on. And so I decided that my algorithm has decided for me that if I am in the mood for weird ass techno music, I will watch this film. If I am not, I will not. But no, I mean, taking the algorithm aside, like, I enjoy the movie. I would watch it again. But as I said earlier, it's not like I watch it all the time, right? Like, I own it and I haven't seen it for 10 years. So, like, that's pretty accurate to how I feel about it. I'm not going to say no, but it's not like I'm turning it on all the time.
Indeed. So, going to next week, we got a spinner here. In a shocking turn of events, we're going to spin.
Drama.
What's it going to be?
Award-winning.
Award-winning.
Oh, shit.
Good.
Got to get some points on the board. Catch you on the flip side.
The flippity.
If you like this episode, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FlipperFlix. I guess we don't have to say it anymore, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm old. Follow along, see what we're doing. Interact if you'd like to.
Yeah, hit us up there. I don't know. You can also give us recommendations on other of those sites, or you can go to our website at www.flipperflix.com. Yeah, we do a couple recommendations each season, so we just love we're trying to pander right now. We're trying to get you to come to our website, give us some clicks, and recommend us a movie because, we're going to have to pick those eventually, and more the merrier, right?
Yeah.
You can also, speaking of pandering, you can also rate and review us on Apple, Spotify now. Oh, we also do polls there occasionally. So that's always fun.
Answer Adam's questions.
Answer all of my questions, God damn it.
And if you're wondering, when can I catch these fools? You can catch us at 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. We're on Spotify, as Adam mentions, where he does his polls. We're on Apple, Google, Amazon. I believe you can subscribe on the various platforms, and that way you'll get like a push notification or it'll come right into your queue. So that way you don't ever have to look at the clock on Thursday. It'll just be there for you. Kitty!
Can you later? Bye later.